Okay, so the number one skill to improve at drawing is self-assessment, being able to see what you need to work on next. And so many people get this wrong and then they do the wrong practice. And when I say they, I mean me. Like, I made this mistake so much. And so you don't want to make my mistakes, so let's get into it.
Hi, my name's Kenzo and this is Love Life Drawing. So I'm going to show a digital painting figure sketch as we talk about this. So if you're self-taught, but also even if you have professional teachers, your main teacher's you, and it always will be you. So half of your job is to be the student and do the practice, and the other half is to be your own teacher, which means critiquing yourself and guiding yourself. Now, to be a good teacher for yourself, you need some soft skills and some technical skills. So let's start with those soft skills. Often people think that being real means being harsher. And that might be the case for interactions between people where there's lots of politeness and niceties. But when it comes to yourself, and when it comes to artists especially, most people are overly harsh and critical about their own work. So the first thing you need is to balance that out. We already did a video about being a more compassionate teacher for yourself. I'll link to it below. But basically imagine what a good teacher would say, how they would point out things that you need to work on, but would also make you feel confident and motivated at the same time. A good teacher would build you up, they wouldn't tear you down.
So having said all of that, that is different to just being nice to yourself. So being nice wouldn't be that you just see the positives, focus on the positives, and kind of ignore all the negatives. So it's fine for your family and your friends and the other people in the life drawing class to be nice about your drawings, but with you, you have to be a little bit more honest and a bit more real. And that means seeing the positives, and that means being encouraging to yourself, but it also does mean being honest with yourself about what you need to work on and what skills you've been avoiding.
So I don't want to brag. Well, actually, I guess I do. I'm a good teacher, and this is the type of review that I get about the feedback that I give to our students. So Margaret said, I have found that some teachers are reluctant to criticize, probably because they don't want to upset their students. However, Kenzo manages to point out mistakes and recommend adjustments at the same time as he praises the good points, thus promoting a healthy mental attitude towards my efforts. I find a lot of positives in people's drawings because there usually are lots of positives. And then there are also usually things to work on. And you need to know about all of those things, the good and the bad, and you need to be able to balance out that feedback to yourself. So on one end of the scale, there's just being really nice and just being positive and not saying what you need to hear in terms of improvement. And then on the other side, there's being unnecessarily harsh and critical and only seeing negatives. And then in the middle, there's just being realistic. I would say stay 2 steps towards the positive side of realistic. I think that's kind of a sweet spot because most people are pulled so much towards the negative that it's worth actively pushing against that tendency. And also because you are likely to practice the most here. So if you're too harsh, you're going to want to give up. If you're too nice, then you might not feel like you really need to work on anything. But if you're positive about what you're doing while knowing that you have lots of work to do, you're going to practice a ton. Now, one of the hardest parts about being your own teacher is getting yourself to do the things that you don't want to do. It's so tempting to just go to the exercises that you know, that you're comfortable with. You might tell yourself stories like, gestural drawing, that's not my style, or I don't really need to learn perspective. That's not the type of artist that I am.
If there's a skill area that you've been avoiding, if you've been telling yourself stories about why you don't need to work on it, and you know the skill that I'm talking about, then you've got to face up to that. Like, that is going to be such a big, that's probably the thing that you need to work on the most, is that thing that you've been telling yourself you don't need to do. Like, maybe you've been avoiding your perspective practice, maybe you've been avoiding your anatomy practice or whatever. That's the thing that you need to work on, probably.
You want to give yourself something doable. So you can't just be like, the gesture sucks, so work on that, and the anatomy's no good, so work on that, the forms are no good, the lighting's no good, the marks look terrible, and so on. If it's too much, it's going to be overwhelming. So instead you can say something like, let's just work on getting better angles in the drawing next time. It's okay if everything else still needs work, but at least I'll have the angles improved a bit, right? That's good, doable feedback. The problem with being focused like that is that as a student, you want to be doing amazing artwork ASAP. So if your artwork isn't beautiful, you're disappointed and frustrated. I've been there a lot. So if you tell yourself to work on just one thing, and even when you've finished doing that thing, it's still not going to get you to your goal, it just feels like such a slow process. But as a good teacher, you're going to have to explain to yourself that you need to go down this learning pathway to get to where you want to go. And there's a lot of fundamental principles in drawing and painting that need to be established. And you've got to respect that. So you build them systematically and eventually you'll get there. That's why I made this guidebook, to help you check what skill you need to work on next and keep you focused on one thing at a time. You can get it for free with the link below. So you're going to be saying stuff to yourself like, okay, there's this long roadmap and I'm here. I don't need to worry about any of these other things right now. I just need to worry about this next step. But I can see how eventually I am going to get to that drawing level that I'm dreaming of.
So very often we're really focused on technical solutions, like what is the little technical tip that's going to fix my drawings? But half the time, the issue is with your mindset. And so I've made a whole video about the value and the importance of confidence itself. So when you're assessing your drawings, you're thinking about what technical problem there is. Is there a mindset issue as well?
If you want your marks to look beautiful and they don't, you might be worried about what grip you're using or what material you're using or the paper or whatever, but it could just as easily be about your own self-doubt. It could be that you're too worried about what people are going to think about your drawing and that makes you tentative and you can't put down loose, relaxed lines.
So have you ever had this experience where there's a funny movie or video clip and you want to show your friend, right? And you want them to like it so much that as they're watching it, you keep staring at them and it makes them feel nervous and they can't enjoy it. They can't find it funny. And so it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You were so worried that they wouldn't like it, that they didn't. That can happen in your drawings. If you're more relaxed, more loose, the drawing is going to be so much more enjoyable for people to look at. Whereas if you're really worried about what people think about it, it's going to feel tentative, it's going to feel forced.
One of the best ways to improve your mindset and confidence is to take more risks. Risk is a huge part of interesting artwork, and you build skills when you take risks and then it all goes wrong, and you gain confidence when you take risks and it works out well. You might try getting more wild with your gestures like Richard Powell, maybe trying strong stylistic choices in your drawing like Jared Cullum's story-style paintings, maybe adding different hues to your paintings like Martin Nael here, or how about just pushing the simplification so much that the painting becomes a set of almost geometric shapes. Now, early in the learning process, you're going to be doing more technical exercises and risk-taking is less relevant, but as you progress, you're going to need to dial up the experimentation and risk-taking. That's where your personal choices and experiences are going to start to become unique to you. You know, people talk about developing their style. Well, that happens naturally as long as you're willing to mix in drawings where you're trying things out and experimenting more. You know, I've talked a lot about technical skills and this roadmap of technical skills, but there's always this question, are you taking enough risks?
So every time I try and do something, some sort of project, I'll research it so much and I'll read all the articles, top 10 mistakes people make, avoid these mistakes, all of that kind of thing. And I have this plan and I'll think, I'm going to execute this perfectly. And then I'll proceed to make every single mistake that I was trying to avoid. I think there's, you know, you can read about it, but you only really learn it by making all those mistakes. There's no way around it. So even though I've given you this roadmap and I've said, these are the skills you need to work on, it doesn't mean that now, armed with that knowledge, it's just going to be this easy process and you're not going to struggle. It's going to be chaos, even with the plan, but hopefully you can keep course correcting. And with this guide, you can bring yourself back on track, focusing on these skills as you keep going. There's going to be so many moments of self-doubt, so many mistakes, so many things that you feel were a waste of time. That's all part of the process. But if you keep going on these skills, you will get there. These are the skills you need to work on. So good luck with it. There should be 2 more videos somewhere on the screen. Check one of them out, and I'll see you next time.